Since we were young, we've heard a lot of myths. Some people say that every myth has a little bit of truth in it. We've heard about mythical lost cities, but few were found in real life. Many people have died trying to find these long-lost cities. And today, we'll tell you about 5 of these expedition missions. Stick with us until the end to learn more about the mysterious search for lost cities. Hello and welcome to Juicy Truth. If you have a thirst for knowledge that never quits, subscribe to our channel. Number 5. The mythical city of Shambhala. In December 1923, 2 explorers named Nicholas and Helena Rarest went to Darjeeling, India. The goal was to find the mythical city of Shambhala. Many joined the 2 explorers in their expedition. After arguing with the authorities for a long time, they were finally permitted to go to Tibet. Local beliefs say that Shambhala is a kind of heavenly metropolis that exists on both the physical and spiritual planes. Since most people think this city is just a metaphor for something else, it has never been found. Nicholas and Helena were still determined to find it, though. They were sure that Shambhala was real. Sad to say, no one has ever found it. In 1927, the expedition lost touch with the outside world. Everyone thought that the crew had died. In reality, they had been in a bloody fight with the Tibetan military and had been locked up for 5 months. The group then walked all the way back to India. They tried again to find a lost city in 1933, but they were not allowed to go into the area this time. Number 4. Lost City of the Kalahari. In 1885, Guillermo Farini, a Canadian entertainer and adventurer who was also known as the Great Farini, was one of the first Westerners to cross the dangerous and uncharted Kalahari Desert in southern Africa. When he got back, he showed pictures and wrote a paper about the ruins he found, which seemed to be the remains of a lost civilization buried in the sand. The Lost City of the Kalahari by Farini was searched for by dozens of expeditions all through the 20th century. In January 2016, the American show Expedition Unknown went on a search for the lost city. Using radar and aerial scans, as well as Farini's descriptions of the site, they found man-made ruins near an oasis just inside the Kalahari. Even though it hasn't been proven yet, this site may be the lost city that Farini wrote about. Number 3. Australian Outback City. In 1848, Ludwig Leichhardt, a scientist from Prussia, and 7 other men disappeared. Ludwig loved to explore and study the world around him, and he was most interested in Australia. He was going to trek across the Australian outback from the east coast to the west coast. Ludwig started his trek in 1848. At that time, no one knew what was hidden in the middle of Australia. No one had ever traveled through the region before, so this was a big deal. Sadly, it turned out to be a major disaster. Ludwig and his group were last seen at McPherson Station on the Darling Downs on April 3, 1848. He rode off into the sunset with 7 soldiers, 20 mules, and 7 horses. He and his men were never found. Number 2. The Lost Desert City of UBAR. A story has been told in Dubai for a long time about a desert city that got buried in the sands of a desert and will never be seen again. This city, which was once called UBAR, was destroyed by God, which makes it even more interesting. In recent years, it has been called the Atlantis of the sands. When the ruins of Shiza were found, it was thought that it was the lost city of UBAR, but no one knows for sure if that's true or if a city called UBAR ever even existed. Number 1. City of Thule. The Greek explorer Pethys was the first person to tell people about the lost city of Thule. In his description, he said that the sun never sets on this land, and that during the winter, the sun never rises during the winter. The Nordic countries, where the polar night and midnight sun happen, fit this description perfectly. At that time, no one in the Mediterranean knew anything about it, which is why it inspired so many Greek poets and thinkers. After a lot of discussions, many people concluded that Pethys might have been talking about Iceland or Greenland. That should have been the end of the myth, but many people still think there is a land out there that perfectly matches what the Greek explorers said about it. That was it for today's video, guys. Do you know of any stories like this? Do let us know in the comments. If you liked the video, please share it with your friends. We will see you in the next video. Till then, take care.